Alright, RE0F10A and 10 millimeters on our speed sensors. Be careful when you're taking them off, as they can have shims underneath them. Some have one, some have none, some have two, some have three. This one has two. And make sure and put them back, or it will not work properly. This one over here usually does not have any. It's the one on the back side there that's got them. Yeah, 14 millimeters on the case. Some of these are longer than others. These two on the bottom are longer. You can see the difference between the two. And the little shoulder. $12 millimeters that hold your pulley in. They have O-rings on them. There's another one down here in the bottom of the case that holds your pump. Got another 12 up here. Dang it. Pull our lockup O-ring off. And a couple of these are longer than the others also. This one right here. These two. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple right up here that are, yeah, that one, this one, tip this up on its end. 10 millimeters on the pan. Millimeters on our filter. I usually keep my filter bolts separate, so I don't have to try to keep up with them. There's 2 down here at the end. And you take that 14 off for our linkage. There's a little shim that goes in here on the linkage. It's going to fall out. When we take it out, I'm trying to remember which ones to take out here. I usually just leave my wiring harness in there. So I'll take these out. You don't have to take these out to get the valve body off. Like I said, I just let this hang there. Push in on that little tab right there, and your harness should let go. Alright, now trying to remember which ones. The ones I need to take off. And if I remember right, it's this one. And this one, I think. Nope. Okay. Which one am I missing? Should be loose. I think that was one. Okay, there we go. I knew it should have been loose. Alright, so this one down here, this one up here, these 3, 4 didn't need to come loose. The rubber seal goes between the valve body and the case. Oh, I need to get this before I forget. Drop it out somewhere. Here's your little shim for your linkage. Alright, now we can undo the harness down here. I just leave the case connector in the case. Just pull this section out. case have. You have this shim that goes on the top of the gear. 2 tins right here. Pull that little shield off and pull our transfer gears off. Make sure there's no chips missing. Our differential. Right down in here is a little clip. You need pliers. You spread that clip apart. And your gear should come off. There we go. Washer. Pull this little pin out for your linkage. I don't put it in a small parts basket. There's a 10mm for this tube. I don't take the tube off. 10mm on the housing. This is your other filter. Always replace it. $12mm on the pump and this little bracket. Two tins down here. This little shield would come off. 6mm on your pump. There's a little seal down here. It goes between your pump and your case. Come on now. There we go. I'm going to pull this 10mm bolt out right here and check our valve, but it's always scored up. Every one of these needs to be reamed out and an oversized valve put in it. You got your plug. That's your spring. This one is not near as bad as most of them I've seen, but you can still see the score marks on it. Most of them are really, really bad. Our stator. Make sure there's no ring cuts in here. Flat bearing. Our planetary with another flat bearing. Or our sun gear, I'm sorry. Our planetary. There's another bearing on the back side. Make sure that this one goes in the way it shows, or it will eat the crap out of it. There's our snap rings at 12 o'clock. Our reverse clutches. Snap rings at 12 o'clock. I always mark this so I put it right back. I mean, it's easier to know which one, because it only lines up one way. just quicker when you go to put it back together. We got our retainer on top and our return springs, a molded piston. Spot to pry against. And we can hit it right there. Get down by the dowel pins and I free this up. These units are so awkward. Out here where I can get on it better. Let it go. There we go. Well, came off a little easier than it normally does. There's a shim underneath here. So our other case half, there's an O-ring that goes between the two. Alright, our forward drum. Make damn sure that this bearing goes in the way it's supposed to also. It will eat the crap out of it. We got a snap ring with our ring gear in it, holding our ring gear in. Another snap ring. The ring gear sits on top of. And our snap ring for our clutches. You just leave the input shaft in the drum, you don't have to take it out. Our clutches with the dish plate. And go pull this drum apart. rubber molded pistons. These are getting pretty hard. We're going to need pistons on this one. Alright, we need to pay attention to the direction of our belt. Where's our markings at? Well, where they at? I don't see them. Should be an arrow pointing which direction this is supposed to be sitting, and I do not see them. So you need to look on the edges of your belt here and make sure they're not eat up. I surely do not see them. Okay. Normally on this one I think it's on the bottom facing to the left. I might put two on each side. These are kind of thin. Put this down here so I know that that was at the top. All right. Get our puller. Edge here. It's gonna be a little too loose. Yes, we'll go on in. We'll collapse this pulley. Such a pain. There we go. Now we got our belt off. So strange it ain't got no markings on it. I always got markings on them. Alright, we're gonna release this down. Actually, let me just look up in my pulley, see what kind of shape they're in. Feel decent. Go ahead and loosen this nut up. And it's a little big, 1 5/8 inches. Looks like that's the closest I got. We're going to leave this on there, a few threads. And put our puller back on. On that socket, we're going to tighten this down and it should pop that off of there. Now you're just going to lift off. And little balls are going to fall out. There should be nine of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Your surface looks good. Gear goes with the step down. You got a washer. It goes in between the bearing and the bearing, and the little race comes out the back side. And go compress this, take the snap ring out. Our snap ring, our piston, our retainer, return spring, and inside of our pulley. Let's see if I've got a socket big enough, and I don't. So we're going to chisel this one off. Nut. Alright, we got our bearing, retainer, piston, return spring. Now there's going to be balls in here also. Shouldn't be as many. There should be 6 in this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our surface still looks good. Pulley looks in pretty good shape. So we'll go right this way. Okay, something I did forget to mention, where your balls go in these channels here, look real close at your balls and make sure they're not scored up. and make sure they're not dinged into the sides of the pulleys there. I'm going to put an LS kit with pistons, both filters. I'm ordering this just in case this doesn't work. I have never put one of these in. This is Transgo's number for the pump flow control valve that always wears out. This is supposed to be a drop-in. This one's you have to ream the pump out with the reamer. So I'm ordering this one just in case, so I have it here. This Sonex number is 113741-07. Transgo's number is JF010E-FC, and it says it fits the A unit. I have a feeling it also fits the B unit. So I'm going to go ahead and order that up. My torque converter code is 21C.